and this concept of resting rather than rutting, ground myself in creative things and artful things, I can kind of slow down a bit because I think I finally did the thing. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome to this vlog where I am in between novels. So for this vlog, my intention is to be quite restful, to refill the creative well, to kind of potter around and finish a few tasks, to read some books, and to generally have a pretty chilled out time because I have been on deadline. I had this really heavy video editing week, and then that jumped straight into me doing the proofread for my debut novel, Theodora's Tea Shop. If you're new here, hello, my name is Christy. My debut novel is coming out this July, which is amazing and terrifying. But we did round one of the proof over the course of the last 2-ish weeks. We had Easter, and then I finished it yesterday and sent it off to my editor. And now we're here, and I'm not yet due to start my edits of the next book because I'm waiting on feedback. And so I have some glorious, not free time, but like slightly more chill time where I want to catch up on some reading. I want to get some admin stuff done. So let's go make some tea. I don't know why I have the tendency to press record and then go get my stuff. But it's become a kind of shtick for my vlogs, so it's just gonna keep happening. I wanted to fill you in on the plan for today and what I've been doing recently, and this concept of resting rather than rutting, because I feel like while I've been really burnt out on projects, that's what I've been doing. I've not been resting. I've just been kind of staring at my phone, too tired to get up and do anything, like outside of working on the novels and my YouTube videos and, you know, all the creative stuff I do. So in this video, I wanted to show what I'm doing during a restful work period, but this wouldn't be possible without the rest that I've already been doing leading up to this. And so for me, that means not vlogging it, not making content out of it. Basically, I spent one weekend sleeping and binge watching One Piece, and then this past weekend, I've been playing Clair Obscur. Whether or not you like video games, Clair Obscur, it's beautiful. It's so brilliant. I think I'm roughly halfway through. I think it takes around 30 hours to complete that game. It might take me a little bit longer because I left the game on idle for a little bit, but yeah, I'm in Act 2 and it is beautiful. I love the art direction. I love the storytelling. The music is glorious. Like, I've been listening to the soundtrack of Clair Obscur for the past year, even though I hadn't played the game yet. So that's been me basically. I've been logging off of Instagram. I've not been overproducing content, but the only reason I can be restful today is because I've already spent the last couple weeks not doing anything. I've been sleeping, I've been going to Pilates, I went for a really, really long beach walk with my best friend. There's been lots of walks. I find walking restful, and then just watching anime and playing video games, and it's been great. I've loved it. I think tomorrow I'm gonna vlog as well, and I might head to the library. And actually, speaking of the library, as a person who spends a lot of time working in cafes or libraries, I know the importance of a good VPN, which brings me to the sponsor of this video, Surfshark. Surfshark is a virtual private network, otherwise known as a VPN, which helps keep you and your devices safe. This is perfect for creatives or really anyone who works outside of the house a lot. Online security and privacy are so important because Wi-Fi networks are one of the easiest places for personal information to get intercepted. So Surfshark helps to protect your connection. It encrypts your data and keeps you safe. Surfshark also has over 4,500 servers in over 100 countries, which means that you can virtually change your network to so many different places. Being in Australia, I know very, very well how irritating it is to be region locked out of a TV show or a piece of content. Also, if you're traveling overseas and there's some content from your home country you want to see, you can virtually change your location and still access that media. Surfshark also has unlimited devices across your account, so you can use it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, and it also comes with Surfshark Antivirus, which has webcam protection and 24/7 malware protection as well. Surfshark comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's a wonderful tool for anyone who wants to keep their devices safe. So you can go to surfshark.com/ChristyAnnJones or use the code ChristyAnnJones at the checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. I'm now really excited to show you the changes we've made to the living room. I love these bookcases. This was Tyler's idea. Now, really, if we were doing the kind of ideal version of this, we both would have wanted bookshelves that are quite a bit lower to the ground with a bit of a lower profile, but we went went ahead and got the IKEA Billy bookcases because it was the most affordable way to do this by quite a long way. So oh my god, I love this. I think it looks amazing. This space is starting to come together and it's starting to look really cozy and elegant. I wanted to talk about the books I've been reading recently for Project Spiegeltent and the kinds of things I've been using to sort of not even glean inspiration, but really just ground myself in creative things and artful things. For those of you who don't know, the novel I'm about to go back to is this arty, mildly circusy novel. This one is a book I've been really enjoying recently. I'm only a small amount of the way through, but I'm really savoring it. It's beautifully written and it essentially breaks down important artistic movements in different places and different times. So it kicks off with ancient Babylon and then it goes through Jerusalem and Rome, and I've just gotten past Kyoto and the Heian period. It's just been really interesting, very engaging. I've been finishing chapters of this book and then just info dumping to Tyler or leaving my friends voice notes because I've just found it so cool. I'm also currently listening to Imagining the Renaissance, which breaks down basically myths about the Renaissance and teaches you about like things that people thought about that time period which like aren't necessarily true. This one's a little bit less engaging to me because I think it assumes the reader has a kind of working knowledge of what the Renaissance was. And I don't really. Like, I know the basics about the Renaissance. I know about the Borgias and Machiavelli, granted from the second Princess Diaries movie, but that aside, like I know about Michelangelo. I have a very shallow understanding. When it's spoken about commerce and economics, that I know because I studied economics at university, but any of the political stuff or the philosophical stuff, I'm sort of finding that I'm having to work just a little bit harder to engage myself with it because it's not really my area. And that's basically what I've been reading for writing stuff at the moment. Again, it's the type of thing that I like to do when I'm in between drafts and I have a little bit more time. I just read a bunch of books which I feel are kind of themed around the story that I'm writing. Like with Theodora's Tea Shop, it was a lot of novels from the intra-war years. So Brideshead Revisited, Mariana, I read The Great Gatsby, I read Passing, I read so many books set in the 1920s and the 1930s. And that book isn't even a true pastiche of a 1920s voice. Like, it kind of toes the line between a vibe and also still being commercially accessible. But it was the kind of thing where I was reading a lot of those books to just keep understanding that time period and the kinds of technology people had and the kinds of phrases people were using and like context and all of these things. And now I still have my vague art history, artist, Künstlerroman, personal curriculum brewing for my second novel. And then my third novel, I already have a list of books that I want to read for that. This has basically been all of my reading for the past year. Like, everything I read either goes into novel writing or it's for my book club, which I run over on Patreon. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and read some of this and then later get some lunch. I'm now gonna make some lunch. I have a little bit of the rice from the Kabuli polo I made from Easter left over still. It's only been a couple days, so I think the rice should be fine. I did Google it. So this is just the base of the rice. When I made it for Easter lunch, I accidentally made way too much. I left this in the fridge at home and then brought the other portion to Easter lunch. So this is just the rice and onion. I cooked it with chicken stock and I'm really proud of myself because I used the Pawana recipe. Now, if you're from Adelaide, you may know this restaurant. Pawana is a very well-loved Adelaide Afghani restaurant, and I got the cookbook for Christmas one year, so I've been really excitedly trying out the recipes. I love this food so much. But the Kabuli polo, which I've made once before, that rhymes, I messed it up pretty badly because I used a pot to make it, but the recipe calls for a pressure cooker and the pot that I used was wrong and I didn't have the right kind of lid for the pot, so the rice just got really gluggy. I also think that I didn't rinse the rice enough, and so like I soaked it but didn't rinse it, and so it was all starchy. It was a bit of a mess. I actually had homemade chicken stock from poaching chicken. I'd frozen it, so I feel very put together with this recipe. I'm very proud of it. But it's got the spices and the onions in it, so this rice is really good. But it also needs the toppings, so I'm gonna make that. That's gonna be my joy thing. I'm gonna head outside to eat my lunch. This is one of the things I've been doing recently, is trying to slow down, go for more walks, spend more time outside, literally do anything away from my computer. That's why I've been walking so much over the past couple of weeks. Along the beach especially, I've been really loving walking along the coast. Yeah, spending some time outside among the birds. There's been a lot of fairy wrens this morning, which has been so lovely to see. There was a couple of blackbirds as well. And then after that, I'm gonna head to my study and tell you about the project I've been working on slowly, calmly, restfully. It's been a few hours since I last checked in. I got my lunch and then I got hit with a flurry of publishing and writing emails. Now that we're in the month of April, we're talking about all of the PR things and all of the plans that my publisher has to market my book, and all of that stuff is going to start happening and rolling out in the next couple of months. And it's so cool to be at this stage where I'm seeing sort of the inner workings of how a team like this promotes a book and what they ask from the author. So anyway, I got distracted with a bunch of emails, then I cleared all of my writing emails, I cleared all of my content creation emails. I ordered a new microphone because this one has been dodgy for the past year or maybe like year and a half, and so in a lot of videos I've been holding my wireless microphone just because this one, it does this thing where it has the audio level and then in the middle of me talking it'll just bump the decibels like 8 or 9, and so I in post-production go and like drop down everything, but you still hear the edge of tinniness, and I think it was doing that a little bit earlier in this vlog because I watched it suddenly go into like the red zone. I was like, oh no, it's doing the thing again. Aside from that, I've also been working on this cool little tiny side project where basically I want to make a template that people can use to help structure their stories. And so I have been using this spreadsheet for the past 4 years. You guys have seen me use this like one-pager spreadsheet in Google Sheets, and it's like the bird's eye view thing where I see the entire story and I have all of my things that it calculates your total word count and your percentage of the way through the story, and I keep a whole bunch of information there. And so for years people have asked me, is this a template? Can I download it? I had the thought of like, what if I made this into something really helpful and pretty and aesthetically pleasing? And I have just sort of let the project balloon, and I'm making all the sheets that I think are good and interesting, and basically it's getting there. I've used the plot of both The Hobbit and Pride and Prejudice as my examples in the template, and essentially it's just like a novel planning template for plot, character, world building, like essentially everything I need as a high level. So it's been fun working away on that, and hopefully you guys see that at some point, but I'm not going to release it until it's ready and been tested and I know that it's good enough for people. It's just past 5 p.m. and it's not normally my disposition to finish work at 5 p.m. or slightly past 5 p.m. but we're here, and again I am doing my best to take it easy this week. I'm not on deadline. There's really no reason for me to be working past 5 p.m. So I'm gonna go have some dinner, play Claire Obscure, have some Easter chocolate, and then my plan is for tomorrow to head to the library and also work on this template. I need to quickly get ready. I'm always trying to quickly get ready because I'm always bloody running late to things. But today I want to head into the library. There's a book on creativity that I want to get because I saw Fairy Little Peach talking about it in a video she recently did on refilling the creative well. Whenever I get to the end of a project, I really love, I love watching her videos normally, but I think there's been a number of times where I've been burnt out and at the end of a project, and she's uploaded something really thoughtful about creativity that's helped me. So I love her channel, and she recommended this book about the artist's demons, and I think that it's at the library, so I'm gonna go and try and find that today. And then I'm also going to work on my template, but I think it would just be nice to get out of the house and to enjoy some of the autumn leaves. One of the reasons I'm running late this morning is because Mabel was very cuddly. Like I woke up and she was cuddled up next to me, and then when I was sitting on the couch eating my breakfast, she was cuddled up next to me again, and she was very, very cute. And when you have a very cute little teddy bear just on you, it's difficult to move. It feels illegal. So yeah, I need to do my makeup. My makeup is all done. Do you guys want to see my outfit quickly? This is not very good lighting. Maybe this is better. But here is my outfit. It's a very kind of oversized situation. I am in love with these pants. I got them from Gorman like a couple of weeks ago, but basically they are these really, really fancy, beautiful pants that kind of look like a skirt, and they were originally like $200, something ridiculous, and I got them for like $60 because A, they were on sale. It was like a sale on top of a sale, and then the button was broken and I offered to resew the button, so the price just kept going down. Anyway, they are the most beautiful, comfortable, elegant looking pants. I love them. Now I need to grab my stuff. Please don't turn on my computer again, Mui. You're in a mischievous mood. Okay, Mabel, come on, let's go. Mabel. I need to grab my bag and then we need to go. I got like I'm not even wearing a watch. I got like 3 minutes. Let's go. I wanted to return to this idea of resting rather than rotting, which is something that I've been trying to teach myself how to do. The main reason why I wanted to vlog this second day, where I knew that I was going to take it easy, I knew that I was going to go for a nice walk in the early autumn air and not really pick up the camera and vlog too much. Now, when I started my therapy journey many, many years ago, the first time I went to a therapist was like 5 years ago or something, my therapist said to me, Christy, you should not be context switching 5-6 times a day. It's a lot for your brain. I at the time was like, I can context switch just fine. What I didn't realize is that in my day-to-day life is juggling too many things at once, and it's one of the things that burns me out. And it's one of the things that I do sometimes when I'm vlogging, where I'm focusing both on writing one of my novels and also trying to capture a pretty vlog that I can share with people, where I'm like offering value and making something visually appealing. So for this section, you're getting my voiceover and I'm just going to share the visuals of my day. I headed to a beautiful little cafe in Unley called Peppo Eatery. They have the best cinnamon rolls. Unfortunately, they were sold out, so I ended up ordering a blueberry muffin and working on my template, which is the project I've been doing at the moment. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm working slowly on it. I'm not pushing myself to get this done terribly quickly. But essentially, I have spent the past year spending my free time not really resting, probably doing a bit more of the rotting rather than resting, and really it's just been because my executive functioning has been gone because my work has been so all-encompassing, where I felt so creatively, emotionally, all of the different kinds of burnout you can feel from, you know, working long hours and juggling too many things at once. And I've, in the last month, tried really, really hard to slow down and just start doing one thing at a time. So not working on 3 different videos at the same time, not, you know, reading 7 different books at the same time. For so many months, I was recording concurrent videos and also working on concurrent novels and just literally burning myself out because I was not only doing a lot, but also context switching. And I think what I've learned recently, because I'm starting to finally feel better and to feel relaxed, and as I've mentioned before to you guys, I have this real tendency to just burn myself out really easily, and I wish I wasn't like this, but I have to be honest that the part of my brain that is really, really creative and loves what I do and loves making videos and loves writing novels and loves telling stories and connecting with people is also the part of my brain that doesn't necessarily know when to stop until I'm exhausted. And so as a creative person, as a self-employed person, one of my biggest challenges is sort of learning how to clock when to take time off and when to rest. And I'm really, really pleased to say that since submitting my last big edit of my novel, I am now finally starting to feel rested again. I have spent time with friends, I have slept a lot, I have gotten back into fitness, I've been doing lots of walking, which is joyful. well, which is one of the things that I did on this day. I walked like 18,000 steps. It was a beautiful, gloomy day here in Adelaide, lots of ravens, lots of autumn leaves. It was lovely. Getting a bunch of author emails done. We're getting into this really cool time with my novel where we're doing all the fun stuff. We're doing all of the promotional stuff. I got asked, who would be your dream authors to possibly blurb your book? So I gave them a list. That was really fun. I don't think anyone I put on that list is necessarily going to read the book, but one can dream. And then I ended up going to the library and borrowing a bunch of books, which I'll speak about in a minute. But it's only now that I've really, really taken time out to have decent rest that I no longer feel like I'm rotting. So I'm glad that I'm now suddenly not glued to my phone, that I don't feel so susceptible to algorithms. And part of that has just been actively making time to rest, because the thing is that I can't speak for you guys, but with me, when I feel exhausted and I pick up my phone, that's not restful. It doesn't make me feel better, but clearly my brain is saying, hey, you need something to soothe you. And so I've learned that the best thing to do is to, check my phone, scroll for a tiny bit, and then literally walk to the other side of the room and put my phone down. Take the time to actively rest, to schedule more time to sleep, to schedule things that are low dopamine, to spend more time outside. And I found myself more and more just enjoying not min-maxing my public transport time. I've been enjoying just listening to music and not forcing myself to read or study Japanese or listen to a podcast, do research, do content creation stuff. I have spent so much of my life trying to shove work into every moment, and part of that is because I am, as I've mentioned, self-employed. You guys know I'm a content creator. I'm a writer. I've worked really, really hard to get where I am and to build the things that I've built. And I've kind of realized that after over a decade's worth of work, my novel's coming out. I feel like I can finally slow down and just enjoy the next few months. Like, I'm going to get to do some cool things in the lead up to Theodora's T-Shop coming out. I'm going to get to talk about the book and do these promotion activities. And really, this is the time where I really want to savor this part of my career where I've sprinted and sprinted for the past 6 years on this book, and I get to finally at last enjoy it. Like, the work is done, and rather than having such poor executive functioning that my house is a mess and all I can really do is try and keep my head above water with my work and not responding to people and struggling to get through my emails and dirty washing is piling up and all of the things that happen when I'm on deadline or when I'm just working heaps. I can now actively make time to play video games and to bake food and to just not stress out a lot. And this may sound absolutely insane to you if you've always had a good work-life balance, if you work a 9 to 5 and you get structured time for rest and work and that's not been a problem for you. I'm self-employed and have only recently gotten a publishing deal, right? And so with the economics of how that works and the fact that most authors don't earn a living from their writing and so they have to have full-time jobs and write and blah, 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 blah. I think if you're a creative person that doesn't come from money and if you're not getting financially massively supported, you get very, very used to just working long hours as the norm and also trying to be creative while being tired. And this is something that I've spent my whole career doing. This is something that I've been doing since high school. Yeah, I think now with Theodora's T-Shop coming out, at least for the next few months, I get to just enjoy it. And that is a beautiful thing. And again, on the topic of learning how to rest rather than rot, I feel like this is the first time in my life where I can kind of slow down a bit because I think I finally did the thing. Does that make sense? Like I feel so excited and proud and happy, and again, I don't have to sprint anymore because the big goal was achieved. I got the traditional publishing deal. So I'm feeling really, really happy and grateful, and I think now that I've come out of my burnout fugue state, out of the last big edit of Theodora's T-Shop, I got really emotional. It felt like it was the end of this big, huge journey, and it has been. I've wanted nothing but to become an author since I was a small child, and so, I worked for 8 years on the first novel. It failed, and that broke me, and I got up and I literally didn't spare any time. I got up and straight away I was like, well, I guess I need to write another novel. And you know, I queried that novel and then I went on submission with that novel, and that broke my heart several times with Theodora's Tea Shop, which ended up getting a traditional publishing deal. And so I had this big huge heartbreak in there where I was like, oh god, we failed, I'm gonna have to do it again, Spiegel Tent is gonna have to try and be my debut novel. We're here and the book is coming out in July. That's not very far away, it's just a few months, and so I feel like I'm finally in the spot where I get to actively take time off and actively rest and no longer rot on my weekends. I finally feel like I have the space to rest properly, and I want to keep doing that. And I know in a few months time I'm going to be back into writing a new novel, and I'm going to get really excited and really enthused and really bogged down in a new story. But for now I just want to keep focusing on taking things slowly, chilling out a little bit. I've worked hard enough for enough years to justify finishing work at 5 p.m. and taking weekends off for the first time in literally my life. So yeah, that's where I am. These were 2 days in my life in between projects where I'm trying to make an effort to be restful and to, you know, keep on healing my burnout after coming out of a really, really busy work period for not even a year, probably many, many years. And so it's probably going to take me a few months to really feel truly rested, but that's totally fine. I'm so excited. This is going to be a really, really cool year. And honestly, I really just want to soak up this time and enjoy the months leading up to Theodora's Tea Shop coming out. I'm so excited. It's just been a really, really big journey. I think that's everything. Thank you guys so very much for watching. And also before I go, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting my channel, because without the beautiful people over on Patreon, I would not be able to do this as my job. Over on Patreon, we have so many amazing things, bonus content, our book club, our Discord server. This month we're reading Anne of Green Gables, which is one of my favorite books of all time. So if you want to check out Patreon, there's a link in the description down below. Also, Theodora's Tea Shop is out on July 28th this year. You can pre-order it by clicking the link in the description down below. I think that's everything. Take care, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.